Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another NBA mock draft. This is the post-March Madness NBA mock draft. UConn just went out, dominated their way to another NCAA championship, and becoming the first team to go back-to-back since the 2008 Florida Gators with Billy Donovan. They had a bunch of NBA talent on those teams. But today we're doing a lottery mock draft we're not simming the lottery, we're just going based off the order of the standings right now. This is the last day of the NBA season, so this is the pre-playoff, post-March Madness mock draft, if you want to get technical with it. But we're using the ESPN draft board today, which is a draft board I don't like that much, and we'll get into that. First off, Donovan Clingan at number 3. What? No offense, but he has no offensive game whatsoever other than catching lobs. And if you want him to be a Derek Lively type guy, cool. You don't take a Derek Lively. You don't take a guy that's not a franchise changer, and a franchise changer has to have an offensive game. You don't take that guy at number 3. You take him back into the lottery. Later, mid-first round, later first round. So Donovan Clingan at 3 is interesting. I'm not sure about Buzelis at 6 either. Connected 8 I like. Stephon Castle ahead of Cody Williams, Isaiah Collier, and Jacoby Walther. Yes, he can defend better than all 3 of these guys, but he has no jump shot. All these guys are as tall, much better offensively, and are serviceable defensively. And then Zaccharie at 14, really, ESPN? I'd say he's played his way into early to mid-second round consideration, but at 14? Come on now. Jared McCain at 19. If Reed Shepherd is going to be at 7, why is Jared McCain at 19? That's another question I have. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with today's mock draft. Starting with the Pistons, who are going to go out and get Alex Sarr. I think Alex Sarr is the best player in this draft. 7'1", and he can do a little bit of everything. Compared to Victor Wembanyama, no, he's not as good. Victor Wembanyama might be the greatest prospect we've ever seen, but he's maybe your Walmart Dollar General version of Victor Wembanyama, and he's still good enough to be the number 1 overall prospect in a class that is not very strong. So Alex Sarr at number 1. At number 2, we have the Washington Wizards on the board, and this is a team that is in need of a franchise player. They took a shot on Bilal Coulibaly last draft. It's way too early to judge, obviously. He wasn't exactly franchise-shattering early on. But with this pick, I think I'm going to go out and get Zaccharie Zaccharie for the Wizards. This is a guy in Zaccharie that he can really score the ball. He can really shoot the ball. It was between him or like Cody Williams. And maybe Cody Williams at 2 is a reach. I don't think so. But Zaccharie here, he's a better version of Michael Porter Jr., I feel like, as a prospect. Obviously, there's no injury concerns, and he's also a little bit better off the dribble. Maybe not quite as good of a shooter, but he can shoot it. He's got a really, really good-looking jump shot. So Zaccharie at 2 to the Wizards. I like that a lot. 6'10", almost 200 pounds. At 3, we have the Charlotte Hornets. Oh, if we took Donovan Clingan, I would be upset. Honestly, the Hornets, we're getting LaMelo back. We're getting Marco. We weren't that bad this year. Yes, we won 21 games, but everybody was hurt. LaMelo only played 24 games. Mark Williams only played 19 games. And now we have a deeper bench going into next year with Micic, with Trey Mann, Grant Williams, all these guys we got at the deadline. Maybe Davis Bertans plays a little bit. Seth Curry plays a little bit. Those are older guys. But we have a good 5 with LaMelo, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, and then you insert your 2 guard or another wing that you take here. And I think the pick here is Cody Williams. Could you imagine in Charlotte, LaMelo Ball with Mark Williams and Miles Bridges in the front court, and then Cody Williams and Brandon Miller sharing the rock? That's like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum all over again. A better, taller, more athletic version of those 2 guys. So give me that. Give me that all day of the week in Charlotte. Cody Williams at 3. Now at 4, we have the Blazers, who are looking best player available in the front court. They don't need another guard, which Dillingham or Topic is probably the best player here, but they don't need another guard. They need a in-between guy. 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. And unfortunately for them, this is not a good center class. This is not a good power forward class really either, especially not to be picking at number 4. So they're going to be looking at the small forward to shooting guard type. And honestly, it's probably going to be Ron Holland or Mateus Buzelis here, and I'm going to go Ron Holland. I'm higher on him than ESPN, obviously, 6'7", good slasher, good scorer. Need to watch a little bit more film on him, but he can get to the rim. He's got a big body. He's a good defender as well, and I think you don't need another guard if you're Portland. I mean, you have Malcolm Brogdon, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, and Shaedon Sharpe, all competing for guard minutes. Could you theoretically take a Robert Dillingham? Yes, but his development is going to be very much stunted by these other guys here, which is why I think you take the best player that can impact the game without the ball in his hands, and that is Ron Holland, who's a really good defender and a really good connector on offense. Despite, yes, he's a slasher, but he's a decent passer out of it, and he's good off the ball. At 5, we have the San Antonio Spurs, and obviously they have no use for Klingon, so it's between Dillingham and Topic here, and I think they're going to have to go Topic. Best pure point guard in this class, in my opinion. Yes, we have Dillingham here. Isaiah Collier's down here, but I like Nikola Topic, 6'7", great size, can really pass the ball, and the biggest thing they need is a facilitator, no offense to Devontae Graham or Trey Jones, for Victor Wembanyama for next year. You need a facilitator and some more shooters, so Nikola Topic at number 5 is going to the San Antonio Spurs. All right, continuing on here, at number 6, we have the Toronto Raptors, who are in an interesting position. Emmanuel Quickley is their point guard of the future. They still have Scotty Barnes, who they could also put at the point guard of the future, and then moves Quickley to the 2. We'll see what they do there, but their rotation right now is Quickley, Barnes, Barrett, Gary Trent Jr. I like Ochai Agbaji and Grady Dick. Maybe Jordan Orr, 6 into the rotation, but what they really need is front court pieces and really a stretch 4. Unfortunately, there is nothing of the sort in this draft class. It's going to be tough. For this one, I'd probably look to trade down if I'm the Raptors. But we're not going to do that. We're going to stick here, and we'll take Mateus Buzelis and hope he can develop into a good stretch. Not a stretch 4. He's not big enough to be a stretch 4 yet. But he can be a good little 3-and-D guy eventually, hopefully. Maybe a Jacoby Walter here wouldn't be the bad idea, but I'm going to go out and get Mateus Buzelis. Probably the most potential on the board. Rob Dillingham there is cool. Actually, we're going to Rob Dillingham here. Another ball handler. They really don't have, they got Quickley, they got Scotty Barnes. They don't have a third ball handler, so we're going to go Rob Dillingham there. Sorry for the audible there, but that's who we're going with. And then we are to 7 with the Memphis Grizzlies. And this is where I think Jacoby Walter goes in this scenario. They've got Ja Morant. They got Marcus Smart. They have a good core. What the Grizzlies did this year was honestly pretty genius. And I'm going to make a video on it this offseason. But after Ja went down, they kind of shut everybody down. They basically had open tryouts for all the young guys on this team. They picked up a couple of extra rotational players that if they would have tried to make the playoffs, they wouldn't have had. They saw what guys could do, so guys like G.G. Jackson are now going to, Vince Williams Jr. now, guys that can be in the rotation, that have proven they can be in the rotation next year. So I think they take a shot here. They go out, they get Jacoby Walter, a guy that can really shoot it, can score it. He really reminds me of a smaller version of Brandon Miller from last year's draft class, a flame-throwing wing/guard. Man, he can really shoot it from deep. So Jacoby Walter to the Grizz at number 7. Now at number 8, we have the Utah Jazz on the clock. Loaded up in the front court, so what they need is some wings. They have Chris Dunn, who could be a good backup. They have, maybe he can start a little bit. They have Keontae George. They have Taylor Horton-Tucker, who got benched this year, didn't even really play that much. Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton. So they need some wings. And this is where I think Mateus Buzelis goes, because this is a place where he can flourish if he learns, if they roll out a lineup of Buzelis, Markkanen, and Kessler at 6'10", 6'11", and 7'2", that will be tough in the front court. So I like Buzelis here to try and grow and develop in Utah. At 9, we have the Houston Rockets, and this is who I've been saving Dalton Connect for, because this is just a match made in heaven. They need shooters. They need as many shooters as they can get, and Dalton Connect is the best shooter in this class. Dalton Connect is going to be a hooper in the NBA. People are hating on me for having him in my top 7 of my prospects. I think he is the perfect NBA wing in the modern day. Now at number 10 we have the Atlanta Hawks, and this is a team, yes, they need some front court help, but they have Capella, they have Onyeka Okongwu. If they would take a Donovan Clingan, then they could ship Capella off. Jalen Johnson at the 4. They have a solid core. So what do they need? Probably the best player available and probably a shooter. And that's where Jared McCain is going to go in this mock draft for me. I still don't know how ESPN has him at 19. He is so good at, obviously he's a great shooter. He's elite at playing off 2 feet, which is going to be huge for him in the NBA because that ball fake, it is scary good. And so I think Jared McCain is going to be really good in the NBA, and I think he's going to be great for the Hawks. At 11, we have the Bulls, and all right, this is where I'll give in. This is where I'll take Clingan in the back half of the lottery. Good rim protector, obviously. Good interior guy. So Drummond would be on the way out. Same thing with Vucevic. He can be their center of the future with Patrick Williams. They definitely could use some wing help here. They don't have any other picks in this draft, but we're going to go ahead and take Donovan Clingan anyway here at number 11. Number 12, we have the OKC Thunder, and best player available here is Reed Shepherd. Nobody's really close. That's my explanation for the Thunder. To keep it short and sweet, because they have the luxury of taking best player available, and winning players, Reed Shepherd checks both of those boxes, can really shoot it. They add another shooter to this team to go around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams. That's tough right there. At 13, we have the Sacramento Kings, who unfortunately, they might miss the playoffs this year. Malik Monk is out. They have somebody else that got hurt too. So they're missing a couple of key rotation pieces for the playoffs, and I think they're going to be in the play-in, so they might not even make it. But at 13, Malik Monk's a free agent. Davion's rookie contract is over, I think, or maybe he has one more year of team control. But yeah, they need more wings, so I'm going to have them go out and get Devin Carter, who I really like out of Providence. He averaged 20 points, 9 rebounds, and he's an elite defender, and I think he would be great for the Kings to just plug and play. He's a junior, so he's ready to come into the league and contribute from day one. So we're going Devin Carter there at 13. And then at 14, with the Golden State pick, we're going to have the Portland Trailblazers go out and get Kyle Filipowski, who at 7 foot is definitely a power forward, and I think he will fit in very well behind Jeremy Grant, alongside of Moses Brown, alongside of DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams. They also have Chris Murray, who maybe they shift down to the 4, but right now they can play him at the 3. So we're going to go flip here with the final pick of the first round, and that is my first round mock draft or lottery mock draft using the ESPN rankings. It was kind of throwing me for a loop a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I don't really agree with a lot of those rankings, but everybody has their own opinion. So y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That's my pre-NBA playoff mock draft. So if you did enjoy, make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications, and with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.